Hello everyone, welcome my dear students from grade 7. In this episode we are going to discuss the grammar of Unit 6. Are you ready to learn more grammar? Let's get started. Pronouns. Pronouns is the first part for today. What do I mean by pronouns? Pronouns are words that replace the noun to avoid repeating the nouns many times in the same sentence. Pronouns can be one of these cases. It can replace subject, object, and it can show possessive. Let's discuss each part in details. The subject pronouns are used to replace the subject of the sentence. They come at the beginning of the sentence. What are the subject pronouns? We have I, he, she, it, you, we, and they. Let's discuss some examples. Ali lives in Kuwait. Ali is my best friend. Here Ali is repeated in the two sentences. To avoid this repeating, I will say Ali lives in Kuwait. He is my best friend. Another example, the boys are very happy. They play in the garden. And here we use they to replace the boys. And now, what about the object pronouns? The object pronouns are used to replace the object of the sentence. They come everywhere in the sentence. We have me, him, her, it, you, us, and them. Read with me these examples. My grandmother was happy when we visited her. Here we use the pronoun her to avoid repeating my grandmother. The second example, the teacher gave me or us or him homework to do. Here we use an object pronoun. What about the possessive pronouns? They are used to show the ownership. They come everywhere in the sentence and never need apostrophe. The possessive pronouns are mine, his, hers, its, yours, ours, and their. Let's read some examples. This new laptop is mine. Here we use mine to show that I am the owner of the laptop. The second example, it's not my book. It's Ali's. It is him. So Ali is the owner of the book. And as we said, pronouns are used to replace the nouns in order to avoid repeating them in the sentence. Don't worry, it is easy enough, but all you need to concentrate is the noun you are replacing. I have more examples for you. Sarah is coming with us to the party. I will wait for Sarah outside. Here Sarah is repeated. What can I do to avoid this repeating? Sarah is coming with us to the party. I will wait for her outside. I will wait for her. Here we use her to avoid repeating the word Sarah. Another example, this is Ahmed. He's my brother. I don't think you met him before. Here we used here and him to avoid repeating Ahmed. And now, let's check your understanding by doing some exercises. And I advise you to try to do it by yourself, then check the answers from the video. Choose the correct pronoun to complete the sentence. Number 1. My father is looking for keys. Number 2. I have one brother. Likes reading. 3. I forget my notebook, but Muna had. 4. Sarah and Maryam are very happy. Good, full mark. 5. Salim bought a bike and painted with red. And the last one, my sister is a good reader. loves reading different stories. Here, don't forget to concentrate on the noun which you need to avoid repeating. Number 1. Good job. My father is looking for his key. And here we use his to avoid repeating my father. Number 2. I have one brother. He likes reading. Here we use he to avoid repeating brother. Let's move to number 3. I forget my notebook, but Mona had hers. Hers here comes to avoid repeating her notebook. 4. Sarah and Maryam are very happy. They got full mark. Here we use they to avoid repeating Sarah and Maryam. What about number 5? Salim bought a bike and painted it with red. Good job. Here you use it to avoid repeating the bike. And the last one. My sister is a good reader. She loves reading different stories. Here we use she to avoid repeating my sister. I have another exercise from your workbook, page 33, exercise 1. You will complete the following exchange with pronouns. You have my, our, her, their, and your. Remember when you need to use each one. Take your time to do it by yourself and come back to the video to check your answer. And now let's check if you got it all correct. Number 1. Hi Mansoor. Hi, this is my new friend. Excellent. Ibrahim. My sister is 12. Her name is Anna. We live in Kuwait. Our house is quite big. Excellent. Number 2. Have Mr. and Mrs. Hassan got a car? Yes, they have. Their car is new. 3. Hello, what's her name? It's Suad. And that's all what you need to know about pronouns. Let's move to the second part of this episode, if conditional. There are 2 types of if conditional, first and second. We use the first type when we talk about what is possible to happen in the future, while the second one is used to talk about what is impossible to happen in the present. Let's discuss each type in details. Starting with the first type, it refers to present real situations which have possible results that will happen in the future. What do I mean? I mean, if this thing happens, that thing will happen also. If you study hard, you will get high marks. Another example, if you need help, I will come to you. If you send the letter now, she will receive it tomorrow. So, if the first part happens, if you send the letter, the second part will happen in the future. She will receive it tomorrow. When it comes to form a sentence of if conditional, you have to start with if, followed by subject, followed by present simple. And the second part should start with subject, followed by will, followed by infinitive form of the verb. Read with me this example. If he travels abroad, he will enjoy himself a lot. As you can notice, here we started with if, followed by the subject he, followed by the present simple travels. And the second part started with the subject he, followed by will, and the infinitive form of the verb enjoy. What about the second type? The second type refers to present situations which are impossible to happen now and which have impossible results. This thing cannot happen now, so the result is impossible. If I were you, I would buy a new car, and sure, I'm not you, so I cannot buy a car now. Another example. If I won $1 million, I would travel around the world. If they had more time, they would stay longer with us. Let's see how we can form a sentence. You need to put if at the beginning plus the subject plus past simple, while the second part should start with subject plus would plus infinitive form of the verb. If she knew the answer, she would win the prize. Here we started with if, followed by she as the subject, followed by the past simple. And the second part started with she, followed by would, when, the infinitive form of the verb. And now let's apply what we have learned together. In your student book, page 36, exercise 6, you will complete these sentences using if conditional. Let's read it together. Sarah decided to bake a cake yesterday. It took her 3 hours to finish. Unfortunately, her cake was tasteless, dry, burned, and got stuck on the pan. What did she do wrong? What advice would you give her? Think of it. Let's check the answers. If I were you, I would. What do you think? Is it the first or the second type of if? Excellent. If I were you, I would prepare the oven first. What about the second one? Next time, if you follow the instructions, the cake will taste better. Another exercise from your workbook. Correct the verbs between the brackets. You have 6 sentences. Check the tense of the sentence, whether you need to use the first or the second type of if. Let's check the answers together. If you study hard, you get high marks. What do you think? How you can answer it? Good job. If you study hard, you will get high marks because the first part is in the present. Number 2. If we travel to London, I will visit the museums. What about number 3? If we lived in Rome, I would enjoy Italian food. Here, the first part is in the past, so I need to put would in the second part. Number 4, if they had enough money, they would buy a new car. 5, if I saw Walid, I would invite him to the party, and here we use past because in the second part we have would. And the last one, if it rains, we will stay at home. And now we reach the last part of this episode. How much and how many? How much and how many are used to ask about quantity and amount of things. But when we can use how much or how many, we use how much to ask about uncountable nouns. How much milk do we need? Or how much sugar would you like? We cannot count the milk or the sugar. While how many is used for countable nouns. How many students are in the class? Or how many books did you buy? Don't worry, it's enough easy, but you need to concentrate more. You have exercise in your student book, page 38, exercise 4. You will decide whether you will use much or many. Let's check your answers together. The first one is done for you as an example. How much fruit juice do you drink? What about the second one? What will you use? How many biscuits and cakes do you eat? Excellent, because it is countable noun. The third one. Excellent. How many lentils and beans do you eat? 4. Good job. How much fish do you eat? And 5. How many vegetables do you eat? Here you can count the vegetables. And the last one. How many packets of crisps do you eat? And here you can count the packets. One more exercise for you. Do as shown between brackets. There are 5 children playing in the garden. Ask question. Concentrate whether it is countable or uncountable noun. Good job. How many children are playing in the garden? Because in the answer we have 5 children. Number 2. We have little cheese left in the fridge. Ask question. What do you think? How can you ask question for this sentence? Excellent. How much cheese do we have in the fridge? And now it's your turn to do it by yourself. Open your workbook, page 33 and 34, exercise 4 and 5. You will write 5 sentences using F and you will complete the questions. And now we reach the summary of our episode. In this episode, we learned together that the pronouns are used to avoid repeating nouns in the sentence. And we learn also that there are 2 types of conditional sentences, first and second. And the last thing we learned about how much and how many, that they are used to ask about quantity and amount. Thank you for watching and good luck.